Hey everybody, Jayborino here, welcome back. It's Inconsummate, a custom campaign for StarCraft 1. We're on map 6, still. I think that this map is a reasonable one-parter, but because we struggled a lot in the first part, and I think it was some valuable feedback for Protoss, we're going to split it into two parts here and hopefully win this time around. So, Protoss has made some updates to the map. I think he saw me play, he got some feedback in the comments, and made some changes. The map all around is slightly easier. And I will say, very, very well done in that it's not a lot easier. It's only easier in the ways that removed some of the problems that I had pointed out. Specifically, there's a lot more space in our base, and there was about 500 or 600 more minerals in the original mineral patches. So I'm about back where I was. I have this expansion set up, so now I have to actually continue the map, which is going to be hunting down the remaining spires. So let's give that a shot, shall we? Okay, so purple has been dropping on us with overlords. It's causing some splash damage to hit our SCVs every so often, so we do have to be aware of that. So I've been leaving medics around every so often, but I think I'm going to go ahead and consolidate and move all my units up here because I do want to start attacking here pretty soon. I have an armory under construction here because I would like to level up. Oh! I'm just realizing now, Aberrant Evolution has had its armory requirement removed. Though I can't confidently say that we should get it, because again, it is still semi-expensive. But again, I do have this base set up. I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and remove tank mode here, because I do only want and need one tank at this location so that we can start attacking. The next direction I'm going to go is probably over here and wipe out any Nidus canals that we can find. Let's definitely get vehicle weapons, and we have to make sure that we just keep repairing where necessary. I left a few Marines here with a medic. It kind of walls us in, and also we can repair ourselves. And so my factory down here, siege tanks do not get blocked here anymore. So some of these doodads are buildable now, or buildable over now, and they weren't before. So again, just minor changes like that remove things that cause problems when they didn't necessarily have to in the past. And now it's entirely workable, but again, still challenging. I have been definitely still struggling with the beginning of this map. I just didn't have to reload because my tanks were blocked, stuff like that. So that makes a really big difference. Makes a surprisingly big difference, actually. So I unsieged a tank and tried to move it down. Where did it end up? I'm afraid it tried to go the wrong way and got destroyed, which is unfortunate because I feel like I should probably reload. But I do have income now, and I can feel kind of confident. I almost definitely lost that tank, unfortunately. Okay, and again, they are still dropping here. And we can't scan, so turrets are very important, specifically because of lurkers. We have to try to bait them into unburrowing, if anything. Okay, so we might as well siege these tanks up, the ones that build. And I have more Marines coming out, and getting supply blocked is going to be our next semi-challenge here. This tank also is in a good position in that it can hit the Zerglings that spawn out of this area. And as we level up, hopefully it helps significantly. Let's go ahead and level up more armor. I'm sorry, weapons. I'm also a little more focused today because I'm not coming home after having a few drinks after happy hour. That did add quite a detriment to my play last night, that's for sure. But now we're back in it. Okay, hopefully with this done, we can one-shot some Zerglings. That's my hope. So what I'm probably going to do is move these units up here and move over to this ramp and see what's down here, because that's what we're going to destroy next. So let's move on up here and again, hopefully not lose anything along the way. Probably going to get +2 for my tanks as well if we can very quickly kill any Zerglings with even unsieged tanks. That puts us in a really good spot. So I think I'm understanding more why we weren't supposed to be able to lift off, because we probably could get to the starport without problems. All right, let's be careful here with the sunken colonies. And we'll siege down these buildings from here and leave these units. Meanwhile, let's just keep repairing. By destroying some of the Nidus canals, the attacks have really lightened up. Not a lot, but a little bit. Let's go ahead and get another... Let's just go ahead and get another turret here so we can get rid of these jerks that keep flying over us. Goliaths may be a good choice, but I think I'm just going to keep it up with the medic Marine. Okay, this is unfortunate because there's lurkers. Let's see if we can stun him. Yeah, okay, we got him. We got the lurker. That's important to keep in mind because those lurkers can burrow and we have no mobile detection at all. So the only way to destroy them is when they attack us. Okay, this turret has been a hero. I might even get a second one over here. Now we can afford to spend some money on turrets and such. And that SCV is going to get killed by the bounce attack, unfortunately. Okay, but that was okay. Let's go ahead and set these fellas up. Keep moving up. Every little bit that we can find and destroy is very important. I don't see oh, there is a Nidus Canal down here, so let's go ahead and move up. We're just supporting our tanks, so I want to bring an SCV up. So everything has to be micro just right here. We have to just keep repairing where possible and setting up more turrets, it seems like. So let's go ahead and grab this, repair here. Okay, be careful. Be careful. Okay, we can see the Nidus Canal, so we're going to destroy that. We're going to move down this ramp, figure out what we want to do next. Let's just wait here and let whatever's building in those eggs finish up. Honestly, just these few Marines here is huge because the Zerglings aren't running through and our tanks aren't doing extra splash damage, so that makes a big difference. Probably going to make even another turret here just to make sure that we are safe fully against any Mutalisks. These drops here don't seem to be a huge problem. There we go. We're getting Overlords, which is going to cause them to waste some of their available larvae on Overlords, which I enjoy quite a bit. Okay, so let's just queue up some repairing. I'm going to keep saving quite frequently as long as I'm in a decent spot. We're already sort of out of money here, and by sort of I mean almost entirely. I will get Aberrant Evolution, though. I don't see a problem with that. Let's see about if we can get over here to repair. I hear Ultralisks. I think I'm going to have to move these units down here. We're probably going to lose this. We did just save, but I'd rather take the time to set back up. Now I kind of want to go left just to clear out whatever's over there. So I think I will. My units are already over here, so let's do that. We did get another Nidus Canal, so let's go ahead and set this back up and get another siege tank. Yeah, gas is going to be a constant issue, so we're going to be making mostly Marines here. That's okay, though. Let's go ahead and leave one tank here with a turret. Build a turret, and I'm going to move this tank to the other side, because it should be safer probably up here. So let's definitely do that. And I think spending my gas on upgrades has been the right choice so far. So let's save, because again, I don't really know what's over here. I did use the vision sheet last night, but like I said, I had been drinking, so I don't really remember what I saw, besides there being some available expansions around in these general areas. So let's move on up here. I do think that what I've found so far has been incredibly useful, but we have to make sure we keep repairing where necessary. Move on over here. So it looks like there's a purple base over there for sure. Let's go ahead and make sure we're repairing. Okay, that's good. We've got +2. Probably want to grab one more SCV here to repair. And we need more space. We're going to need more space. All right, so the +2 upgrades I think is huge. Let's go ahead and get vehicle plating for our tanks. I think that's going to be worth it. And let's head down in this direction and see what we can find. Let's save. We've got some upgrades that are finishing, and we are still alive in general. All right, this has been mined out, so we do have to find another base and not dip below 400 minerals before we find one. Or maybe we can take this group of units and finish with what we have. I doubt it, but, you know, maybe. There's a Nidus Canal. That's going to be huge if we can destroy it, of course. So let's go ahead and make sure we move up. Protect our tanks. Repair. Nidus Canal going down every little bit helps. Okay, this is good. This is all good. I'm actually quite happy with our situation right now. This keeps... Yeah, those Zerglings do nothing because they can't get through to our tanks, and they're just totally tunnel visioned on our tanks, so I'll take it. That's great. Might want to go for +1 infantry armor next with the small amounts of gas that we get, but we can't afford to lose any tanks if we focus on that. That's the problem. Okay, we're able to see the sunken colony. Let's take it out. Every little bit counts. It's the larger attacks that come in, obviously, going to cause us the largest amounts of problems. Okay, let's sneak down this ramp with Goska and some infantry support and see what we can find. Unsiege, unsiege. Should be using hotkeys more. Okay, I'm trying to keep an eye on the minimap for when the attacks come, because we're going to get a lot of under-attack notifications, but it doesn't matter if they're not... doesn't matter if they're not the large white attacks or the large purple attacks that come in with Ultralisks and such. Not sure why drones keep coming in every so often. We just have to keep looking. Just have to keep looking for where there are colonies and such. There's an Ultralisk cavern here. Destroying this may actually be huge. And I don't know. I keep saying things would be huge, but I have no idea. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, that's great. I think I will go ahead and grab infantry armor. No problem. We're alive here. So as long as we repair when necessary, we're in good shape. Okay, on siege. Inch up. See what we can see. We've already destroyed a couple. What?
Oh, shit! This is gonna hurt! Let me take point.
Okay, it's Goska.
Me twice.
Okay, it's because there's an Ultralisk, but he's standing still, so let's just wait for him to come to us. If we could take out this base... Okay, Marines, I'm very sorry, but... if that's what you're gonna do, that's what you're gonna do. But yeah, let Goska stand in the front. Here comes Whites. Let's keep an eye on this. For the most part, they ignored my bunker. They went for the tank, and he survived. So we're in great shape. This is fine. This is fine. Okay, on siege. Again, keep leading with Goska. Hold position, micro him a little bit. Even if he takes Ultralisk hits, we should be fine. Okay, let's move up. Okay, right here, and we're slightly in range. What I'm gonna do... Goska might get killed by siege tank splash damage. That's my main concern. Not a large purple attack. Let's save again. The longer I go, the more likely I'm gonna get hit by a... the more likely I'm gonna get hit by a large purple and white attack. So we are on a mild time crunch here. We have found another spire, though. So we will get rid of that. Let's move forward. Okay. I do see another sunken colony, so let's unsiege and move on top of it. I do have minerals, but no gas, but I think in either case, that's okay. There's minerals down here. I could take this base for sure. We can move to the right and link up with our base. This may all come together. There's a bridge right here, so that may be where it all links up. I genuinely don't know, but it certainly seems right. Certainly seems how it functions. Okay, very good. So let's just let our units slowly take care of this while we check for what needs repairs, tighten up our defenses a little bit. We do have more gas, so what I might do is go ahead and get level 2 vehicle plating. The earlier we can get these upgrades, the better, just because they're going to last us the whole time, which is obviously very important. Okay, we can move in with our Marines now. These two tanks are champions. Let's see what the kills are. 34 and 30. They're our main offensive tanks. Okay, very good. Again, let's keep an eye on over here, because we do know that when purple attacks, they come with Ultralisks, and when white attacks, they come with Lurkers. So in both of those cases, a little scary. This hasn't been attacked for a while, or possibly at all.
Dealt a serious blow to their numbers, boys. Keep it up.
Gee, thanks for the pep talk.
Yeah, don't mention it.
I do like the little banter here between the Terran units, the Raiders. So one thing Pronago mentioned is he wanted this to feel like, imagine how shitty the Raiders situation would be.
Lots of bogeys in the area. We're gonna need anti-air.
Or a well-placed grenade. Don't let their Mutalisks slow you down. Let's move.
Imagine how bad of a situation the Raiders would be in if Goska wasn't here. So he really wanted to make it so you had to rely on Goska, and you do at this point. We had to stun the Ultralisk, we have to stun the Mule. I think that's the point. It's more of a... It's meant to be more of a, what am I thinking? It's meant to be more of a, an offensive idea as opposed to defensive. Because defensive, Goska obviously will help if he's there, but having him on the offense, it's like, he's supposed to be there to stun. So you don't need that much to be offensive, even just with one tank. It's just hard to focus on it while you're defending. And it seems like the purple attacks have been toned down a little bit, so like I said, this still requires focus, major focus. And again, I should emphasize, I am not the best of players. So the original version of this map, I think, was perfectly fine for someone who is a very good player, but I don't think it was very accessible to most folks. If you would consider me and my play good for, you know, a good judge of most folks, I genuinely have no idea. So another question is, are the large purple attacks spawned? Because by getting rid of purple's base here, we have an opportunity to stop the large purple attacks, and we're only dealing with white. I don't know where white's units even come from, but yeah, I have no idea. Let's come on down here and take this base. Right there, please. I actually need the gas. We'll see if it's depleted or not. It doesn't look like purple's even building out of these hatcheries. I did see last mission they were building out of them. That definitely happens. Getting rid of the remaining Nidus worms, or canals, excuse me, will make a pretty large difference. Let's just not float our siege tanks in range of the sunken colonies again, please. Okay, we're definitely on the downward spiral here. Okay, looked like that was part of a white attack. I don't know if that was an entire white attack or if we had taken care of it and I didn't notice it in time. Let's use our remaining gas for here. But very similar to last map, I do like how you make noticeable dents in the enemy by pushing forward and destroying buildings. It makes a huge difference. It makes an enormous difference. Let's go ahead and transfer these SCVs. Leave one here to repair. Let's save in case all of them get killed. How much gas is in here? It's depleted, but that's okay. We're working with other depleted gas as well. So there's a spire here, and I assume the last one's going to be in this fog of war. It's possible then we'll have to fight to the starports, but I do not know. Okay, this is going very well. In the meantime, and once we get this other base set up, what I'd like to do is mine enough such that we can make more, just make more Marines and make more, maybe we get a couple fire bats too. We need medics and fire bats, because they're very good against Zerglings, obviously. But the upgrades, hugely beneficial. I'm glad I took the time to get them. But yeah, I mean, even just with the smallest tweak, I really, really enjoy this map now. And it's not that I didn't necessarily enjoy it last time, but it was just really hard. It was just really, really hard. It was a little too hard for me. So that's why I mentioned, you know, you can't take my attitude at face value, because when I'm playing in the moment, I'm just talking about how, oh, this is too hard for me. But that doesn't mean that it is objectively too hard, of course. But now I gotta say, and it's not just because I'm winning. The beginning of the map was still hard, and you saw me struggle through it, and it still was not easy. But it's certainly a map where once you proceed through it, it gets easier as you continue. So it's one of those. Okay, here and here, and then I think what I'll do is make supply depots in a few different places.
Let's 86 the last one and get lost.
Affirmative. I'm right behind you.
Whoopee.
I'm very curious what's going to happen with Goska here. Because, again, he just, you know, the Overmind died and he's like, oh, no, I'll help you now. And that obviously did not happen with Kerrigan. And I don't know if that's maybe part of some sort of headcanon that Pronago has, you know, around revolving how infestation works. And maybe he's thinking like, well, Kerrigan was a willing participant, whereas Goska was not, so that made him able to, I don't know, resist the urge to be an awful person after the Overmind was killed, perhaps? I'm not really sure, but it may be answered, and I believe there is still one mission remaining in this campaign. But I do kind of like the idea of a redemption story here, where Goska is coming back, he's turning himself in, and he's saying, you know what, I was a bad person, I'll face the consequences, but just please get me out of here. Get me out of this hellhole, and I'll turn myself in. So I think that's a neat addition to the story. Meanwhile, let's get some more medics. That's probably too many medics, but more Marines, I should say. The Mutalisk attacks have mostly stopped, and oh, you know what also has been removed, as far as I can tell, is no infested Terran attacks. That was like the little extra icing on the top when I was playing. It seems like all infested Terran attacks have been removed, so that did help, because it basically just led to having to reload. A lot of the stuff where it's just like, gotcha, hey, reload, asshole. That's all been removed. So I did have to reload a couple times, or I did so willingly off camera. Because, you know, I lost too much in a certain enemy attack or something, but it's nice now that I have the, now I have the foothold to proceed in the map a little more effectively. So let's get rid of the infested command center just in case, and then we'll find the last spire. But again, this is certainly a map where it definitely gets easier as you go on.
The infested have been dealt with. Right. Let's keep moving.
Okay, well, the pathing strikes again. I don't think these guys are on hold position, but there's no such thing as push priority in StarCraft 1. But again, this is great in that it really feels like it is survival when you're on like really limited resources. I put it pretty well, I think, at the end of the last video, where it's not just here's a ton of minerals and very well defined choke points. Hold out for 40 minutes. This is like hold out, but you gotta survive and find your way out of here, fight your way out. I like that idea. It's like a real evacuation. Also, the destroyed refinery model, flippin' cool.
I'm here.
Okay, there's obviously more purple buildings because they're building drones. Oh, there's a white attack. Siege up, and let's wait for them to get close. Shoot a grenade right there on the Ultralisks. Shoot another grenade right there on the Ultralisks. Okay, very good, and Goska saves the day as usual. And if the intent was saying, hey, the Raiders needed Goska, look how desperate their situation was, it worked out. I think that point is very well made. I'm concerned about moving up this ramp. I may be able to just move up with Goska and stun any sort of colonies that are up there. But for now, we can wait. I can definitely afford more tanks, but it's still, you know, I'm still pretty focused on one location. What I might want to do is take these units and move out here and kind of link up with my units across the bridge. If they can ever get out. They're going to struggle to do so, but, you know, maybe eventually they'll do it. There's a Guardian. Okay, let's move on up. Let's stun him. Please. Okay. And then repair here, and as long as my... I mean, realistically, as long as my medics don't die, then I don't really care what happens to a few of these Marines. Okay, they've made it out of the base. That's exciting. Let's see if they can attack across here without getting too stuck. Really depends on what's over here. I mean, there's more colonies. I guess I could take some tanks with me. I don't really want to risk it. Oh, I thought this medic died, but actually she's all good. All right, let's do this. We can sit at the top of the ramp. Seems like the enemy attacks are a lot more chill now, so that's great. We've got them sort of bottlenecked elsewhere. Where's Goska? Okay, he was hiding beneath the tank. That scared me. That scared me. Let's get rid of this colony. Specifically this one, please. I don't really care about the spores. Okay, and then let's move on up with the rest of these units.
Your commands.
I think we should hotkey this infantry group separately. Okay, let's move on up. There's another Nidus Canal. Seems like finding the Nidus Canals and knowing where they are, you might be able to snipe them fairly early, or a lot of them. Like, getting rid of these up here noticeably helped with the difficulty of the map. Okay, so we're moving up here. Let's keep moving in. Be on the lookout for sunken colonies. Okay, there's two, so I'd rather not screw around with those. Let's just siege up and get rid of them. And there's the last spire. We have to try to get out of here after we destroy it, so we want to link up our armies still. But what we can do if we want to do like a full evacuation is grab all our SCVs, unload our bunkers, group up, and then move to wherever the starport is, because there is still unused space on this map. So just based on the speed that I'm taking this, which is, I'm noticeably moving slow. That's the thing. I think if you had some good skills and you could micro quite quickly, you could probably finish this a lot faster than I'm doing, right? Because the beginning, okay, well, no lurkers here. No lurkers here, so this group actually can survive. It seems like infantry with medics actually is enough to make a big difference here. Let's unsiege, move on up. Does this connect, or do we have to go... Oh, no, this is a ramp right here. It's one of those sneaky ramps. Let's go ahead and siege up, get rid of this, and then we can just basically walk out. Getting rid of these hatcheries here, and then taking this base might have been a good choice as well. The thing is, it's really about the wild card of where white decides to attack. It can make a big difference. Okay, last spire, and then let's get out of here.
The enemy's spires have been dealt with.
That's a relief. Now we just gotta mop up that big cluster and get out of here.
Right. Let's get rid of it.
Okay, let's meet up with our units. I think I'm gonna leave my... I think I'm going to leave my defense in place, though. And let's just go ahead and make more tanks. Really can't hurt. We'll just make a bunch of them. The only direction to go is up here now. So the big cluster must be the Balrog Brood. I assume. It must be, right? I don't know what's left. But I like this idea of the escape. You know, the raiders escaping. It's quite neat. I think we can just leave. We don't have to mop these up because they don't seem to be building.
Moving.
I guess finish this one at least. There we go. But I mean, Goska is legitimately helping here, so that is pretty good. Look at the destroyed sunken colony with the tongue hanging out. That's crazy. I love all the destroyed doodads. And I do have to say, because now the map is a bit easier, I'm able to focus a little more on details like that I otherwise wouldn't think about or bring up, because I'm just so dead focused on having to win. Which is fine, again, I keep emphasizing. That's okay. Stun him? Oh. Whoa, what? Had that tank already taken some damage? One hit from that Ultralisk killed it. Okay, that's alright. Okay, we're in great shape here. It looks like they rebuilt these hatcheries, but purple isn't really active anymore, which is good. The other thing, too, about using the Nidus canals and the Zerglings spawning out of caves is it sort of emphasizes how the Zerg are feral now, which I think is cool. There was no other way that I could go, right? There was no ramp down here. Yeah, I think I'm going in the only direction that I can go right now.
I'm here.
Good work, Firebats. You really did it. Got more tanks coming up. We might as well make more Marines. Rally them up to this medic. How about that? Okay, looking good. So I assume there won't be defending lurkers because we have no mobile detection, as we've discussed in the past. All right, here's white. So Blizzard notoriously inconsistent with their feral Zerg behavior. Sometimes they're coordinated, sometimes they're not. Sometimes you can destroy the hives to remove them from the fight, sometimes not. I think maybe that was more of like a Duran trickery sort of thing. I don't know. Okay, here they come. See, that was a coordinated defensive response, but I think that's more due to the AI of StarCraft more than anything else.
There's a hive cluster up ahead.
Of course there is. What, you thought we were staying here for our health?
Private means to say is that we can't leave until this base is taken care of. They might send their Scourge or dropships. And we all know how that ends.
Then we'll destroy the cluster before we make ready to leave.
Destroy the central hive cluster. So that's what we are doing. That's what we have to do. We have more Marines rallying up, and I suppose what we can do is also get more Firebats. I could probably afford to get more production now, but we're very close to the end, I think. There's still a huge chunk of the map that's uncovered. Maybe there's a second portion to or rather a third portion to this. I don't know. Let's move on up, siege up. Just really focusing on getting rid of the sunken colonies. I could just move up and stun them, but I'm just trying to preserve what I have. Sort of a roleplay type thing. These guys are all trying to escape, right? So let's try to keep as many of them alive as possible. The siege tank pilots, of course, bailed out, right? But I don't think overall, I don't think we have lost that many units, if you don't count the reloads. If you take all the successful portions of the map into account, I think we've done pretty good. Okay, SCV moving up here. Make sure you're repairing our tanks. Okay, siege tank, move on up. All the fire bats are definitely dead, though. Let's be straight about that. They're all gone. No ifs, ands, or buts. All these ones are new ones that we've built, I think. Well, maybe not. Actually, I don't think so. I never moved them into positions where they ended up moving way far ahead of my other stuff. So perhaps it's not the case. I don't know. Maybe in the last mission we'll have access to 3-3 upgrades as well, whether we're playing a Zerg, Protoss, or Terran. We haven't had any Protoss missions so far. Maybe the Dark Templar mystery will be solved with who those Dark Templar were. Possibly Ulrazaj related, I'm not sure. Okay, keep moving forward. Not quite in range of the sunken colony, getting a little better at judging that distance. Okay. This single repairing SCV has been also a true hero of the Raiders' escape. Give him a good position on the Hyperion, please. He deserves it. I wonder if this ends with some fashion of Goska just flat out joining Raiders. I don't know. It's nice because they clearly don't really trust him, and it's supposed to emphasize that they're not going to that they need him. That's kind of been the emphasis. Is like, hey, we're not stupid, but we are dying here. So please help us. I think is more the idea. Okay, just get rid of the static defense. Destroy the last cluster. Okay, very good. Very good.
The enemy's central hive cluster has been neutralized.
Well, I'd say that about does it for the Zerg.
I'm inclined to agree, Private. Our work here is almost finished.
And not a moment too soon. Starport's up north of here.
Understood.
Bring Goska to the beacon. I'm nervous we're going to bring him to the beacon, and then everyone is going to get murdered. I'm nervous, because we're right here, right? I guess let's leave the... Let's bring everything or leave everything? Okay, let's bring a small group. How about this? Let's bring this group and Goska. Let's leave the tanks sieged. Let's save. I'm very intrigued at what's going to happen now. Maybe they're just going to escape.
Moving.
Or Goska's going to leave them all behind.
Understood.
Okay.
Going.
Here we go. I did just save, right? Yeah.
Understood.
All spires have been destroyed, the central cluster has been destroyed, and Goska has survived.
Finally. Dropships should already be prepped. With the skies clear, we can launch at any time.
My vote's on now. Any takers?
Let's pack it up, boys. Specialist, you haven't forgotten our deal, have you?
I'm ready to go.
Good. Escort the specialist onto the ship.
Aye, aye, ma'am.
Is this the last mission? I thought there were going to be 7. My fault. A Pronago production. I quite like the ending. I didn't realize this was meant to be the last mission. That also explains, I think, the difficulty. Well, we're gonna watch the credits. It's interesting seeing folks' name here who have been involved in the StarCraft 1 map making scene forever. It's really neat. But thank you, Pronago. I appreciate you putting up with me. I truly thank you for getting me the maps. You know, there were some times when I'd ask you, I'm like, well, the day's coming up for a video release, so should I wait? Should I play something else? And I just appreciate you putting in the work, and then I would come back to you, and because you were on a time crunch, I was on a time crunch, and then you would make changes as I was playing. It just, I really appreciate it. You know, I got frustrated at times because I think I just assumed, I'm like, well, this is just too hard for me. and you would make changes based on that. So I appreciate you not thinking I'm a crazy person and also not just a terrible player. I think I'm pretty mediocre, and it's good to balance maybe around middling difficulty for accessibility's sake. But all the original versions of these maps would have been great for very experienced players. A heartfelt thank you goes out to everyone who provided feedback on Inconsummate during its development time. The comments I've received through YouTube videos and forum posts has been invaluable in raising the bar of quality set by this campaign, and I will continue to take in feedback as I work on my future projects. Thank you, Pronego. I feel like you just responded from the ether to what I was just talking about, but this was an excellent campaign. Goodbye for now. I look forward to sharing the next chapter in this story with you all. Very cool. The music in this mission struck me as a little out of place. I'm not sure if Pronego, you want to shed some light on the choice there. It's interesting. But yeah, all the missions were wonderful.
The hubris of the firstborn knows no bounds. My will is, and has always been, to unite the Protoss with the Zerg, to merge into one. The twin pinnacles of creation, to transcend and long last unto the form promised to us by the gods. I foresaw that the Conclave would oppose this, just as they opposed the directives of their makers. Their resistance was inevitable, yet necessary, as was my demise. But permanence is a mortal concept. For as I created a daughter, so too did I create a son. An heir worthy of the title, Overmind. The Terrans have been conquered. The Protoss have been vanquished. But the Swarm cannot rest while my will remains. Inconsummate. Now go forth, Magnate of the Swarm. You shall not be denied your birthright. Cerebrate still lives. We find them now.
Cool. So we see the credits. We got a little post. Point here. So the son that he created, perhaps the Magnate. I also like the idea that the Overmind is sort of a Jigsaw-like character.
Ready.
Let's see. So I guess we'd have to. Wait a minute.
Yes. We move.
Attack, please.
Waiting.
So we're gonna have to Dark Swarm. He does melee damage, so let's go ahead and save. But again, he's like a Jigsaw type character where he basically planned his own death. He planned his own death, and from the grave, he has a plan. It's kind of, you know, it's like a.
Feral swarms threaten us. We destroy renegade hatcheries and command feral Zerg.
It's like a whole other thing.
Forces are under attack.
I mean, Strontium's pretty strong.
Waiting.
Okay, let's come on up here and do this one first. There are a lot of Zerglings. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Wow, this is pretty tough. Can we consume enemies to get our health back? Because I don't think so. No, attack, please. I like it's the post-credits. I was so ready for this to be... I'm not saying I was ready like I wanted it to be over. I'm just saying I was expecting it to be over. And here we are. Turn and fight. Yeah, no, those are invalid targets. Maybe we just burrow. I mean, they can't see us, so... I don't want to really kill the drones unless I have to. Oh, my word. We're not taking that much damage. Ah, okay, we get units.
Actually destroy. Our swarm grows stronger.
What I'm gonna do is consume one Zergling because we need it. And then we're gonna move on to the next section. I love that there's more to this. It's like a post-credits thing. It's like, why would you quit until you get the victory screen? Of course, but then also, this is great. Okay, we could probably still do a lot of work with just Strontium, so let's do that. Probably can ignore most of this stuff, but let's... The fact that he can one-shot Zerglings is crazy. Okay, yeah, he's very good. Was he this strong when we played with him earlier? So I guess the Magnate is considered the sun. I guess the Magnate is the sun that the Overmind was talking about. I think the Zerglings are just going to be fodder for him to eat at this point. And as usual, fuck purple. Also, there's no music. I'm not sure if there's not supposed to be music. You just get under the swarm. You guys move back. Let's move on up and try to push our way towards the last group. There's a Nidus Canal. As we get rid of those, that's going to be a big portion of this.
Yes. We move.
Just get the canal. Wonderful. They're building more Zerglings. It's like they constantly make Zerglings out of the hatcheries. Okay.
Yes.
Here's the next set, or the next hatchery, rather, so we can move these guys up here.
Your forces are under attack.
Very cool. But I wonder, I don't know what the implications here are, like the long-term implications. But again, I like the creative liberties here taken with the Overmind and all that good stuff. All right, let's get some more units here. There we go, and let's also just wait for these eggs to hatch so we can... There we go. Perfect. Let's eat another Zergling. Just to make sure we stay at pretty high health. So it's definitely good that I split this video, because it's just unexpected. I do like some good old-fashioned misdirection, though. That's great.
Yes.
Okay. Dark Swarm. Move on in.
We move.
There is an Ultralisk down there. We have to be careful. Actually, we're getting some free damage in on it. That's great. I'm going to save just in case, because there is that Ultralisk, and I just have to be careful that he doesn't accidentally murder me. No, don't draw him up here. Oh, ooh, look at that. They're ferrying him up and down. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. We don't want to get caught under Dark Swarm with the Ultralisk. Hit him with Strontium. Perfect. Let's eat another unit. Just to stay topped off on energy as well and get him back into the green. Okay, we're on our way to the last hive. I left a Hydralisk here.
Your forces are under attack.
And just like that, we're already back into the back into the yellow, but that's okay.
Master. We go.
Okay, right there. Move on in. And then after we've killed these Hydralisks, we can move on in with the rest of our swarm and clean this up. Very nice. Not sure what we're going to be doing after this.
Your forces are under attack.
Okay, I gotta be careful with Strontium. He's taking a lot of hits. But he's under the swarm now, so he's safe.
We go. All hatcheries destroyed. We find Sarah.
So are we... I assume he's talking about Tuzor, so we're looking for Tuzor? Okay, let's do it. We gotta find where he is. No stone left unturned, and we've got a nice-sized army here, too. All I can think of is, I'm so glad this is this way. Again, I really like the misdirection. It's great. Some drones up there, that's random. I don't know if we can even get up there. Okay, Renegade Zerg taken care of. Let's just go ahead and eat more Zerglings. You know, eat the weak ones, because we get a flat amount of health from it. Okay, we should hotkey everything. And it's not an easy end section either. Again, was Strawlium this strong when we used him last time? Okay, let's just keep exploring a little bit. Okay, this looks like it. Tuzor's been found. Strawlium has survived.
You survived. Yes. Good. You must protect me while I recover. With the Overmight gone, the swarm is in more danger than ever. Take command of my hive cluster while I prepare for the coming conflict. No. What? I control myself. What? No! I am your master, Magnate! I am your maker! You must obey my commands! Be silent, Cerebrate! The Swarm needs me. I must evolve. You make me stronger, smarter. Now. I will do no such thing! Then you will die! Very well, Strawlium. But first, we must leave Ire. Once we are out of the reach of the Protoss, I will do what you ask. Yes.
Sweet. So Strawlium is the son of the Overmind to be a counterpoint to Kerrigan, I suppose, and he's got his own little pet Cerebrate, just like Kerrigan's got her own pet Cerebrate. Awesome. Very cool. Excited to see where if there's going to be a second part and where it will lead us. The quality of this campaign incredibly high. As I was saying before, you know, big shout out to Pronago. There's a lot of stuff in this campaign that we've never seen before. It's incredibly exciting, and it makes Brood War feel fresh again. Whereas I was streaming the other day. I was playing Doom, and people were asking me about StarCraft Remastered, and I said, you know, the vanilla game, it feels boring to me. I've been playing it for almost 20 years now, and my whole life I've loved StarCraft, but it's becoming stale. And it takes campaigns like this, things like Pronago, Vorgoz, Iquare, things that new folks are making, old folks are making, that just really, it freshens up the game. I was gonna say the scene, but literally the game. It's refreshing, because the vanilla game, I feel like nostalgia only takes you so far. It's an old game, it's a clunky game. To be honest, it just doesn't handle that well. It's old. And but it's stuff like this that really, it livens it up, it freshens it up, and really keeps the fun in the game. So thank you to all the creators who continue to do such a thing. Alrighty, thanks everyone for watching. I will see you next time. Bye now.